What if the one thing Mel and Jack want more than anything is about to slip away again in Virgin River? Happiness never comes easy. Every time love feels safe, something painful follows. That is why fans are so scared going into season 7. This pregnancy is not just a happy moment for Mel Monroe and Jack Sheridan. It is their second chance at the life they almost lost before. And when a couple has already gone through heartbreak once, every small worry feels 10 times bigger. Mel's past still hangs over this story. She already experienced the pain of losing a baby before coming to Virgin River. That loss shaped her. It made her guarded. It made her scared to hope too much. When she finally opened her heart to Jack and allowed herself to dream again, it was not easy. She had to fight her own fear. She had to believe that this time could be different. So when she became pregnant again, it felt like a miracle. Not just for her, but for Jack too. Jack has grown so much since the early seasons. In the beginning, he was dealing with his own trauma. He was struggling with fear, anger, and guilt. But now, he is calmer. He wants stability. He wants family. You can see it in the way he looks at Mel. You can see it in how protective he has become. This baby is not just about being a father. It is about building something safe and real after years of chaos. That is why the thought of losing the baby again would destroy him in a different way than before. What makes this storyline even more emotional is how carefully the show handles hope. The writers never give Mel and Jack simple happiness. Every step forward comes with a test. Even when they are smiling, there is always a shadow in the background. That shadow right now is fear. Mel knows what it feels like to sit in a doctor's office and hear bad news. She knows how fast joy can turn into silence. So even in her happiest moments, part of her is waiting for something to go wrong. Season 6 already showed how much pressure Mel is under. She is working hard at the clinic. She is helping others through their pain. She is carrying emotional stress from the town and from her own past. Stress and pregnancy are not a good mix. And the show made sure we noticed how tired she looks. At times, the camera lingers on her quiet expressions. There are small pauses in her smile. These details may seem small, but in a drama like Virgin River, nothing is random. Jack's behavior also tells us something. He is more careful than ever. He checks on Mel constantly. He watches her like he is afraid she might disappear. That kind of fear does not come from nowhere. It comes from experience. He has already almost lost too much in his life. Losing this baby would not just be sad. It would reopen every wound he has tried to heal. What makes fans even more nervous is the pattern of this show. When things feel to calm, a storm usually follows. The writers understand emotional impact. They know viewers are deeply attached to Mel and Jack's journey. So the question becomes, would they really put this couple through another loss? Or are they setting up a scare that will make the final outcome even more powerful? Right now, everything feels fragile. The pregnancy represents healing. It represents moving forward. But it also carries the weight of the past. That is what makes season 7 so tense. Before it even begins, viewers are not just watching a love story. They are watching to people who have already survived so much, trying to protect the one dream that matters most. Mel and Jack's journey has never been straightforward, and season 6 left fans on edge with subtle hints that not everything is perfect. From the very first scenes, the show placed small but meaningful clues about the challenges that might lie ahead for them. Mel is under more pressure than ever, balancing her medical responsibilities at the clinic with the emotional weight of her pregnancy. Every patient she treats, every difficult conversation she has adds another layer of stress. These moments, while quiet, are heavy. The way the camera lingers on her tired eyes, the pauses in her dialogue, the gentle sighs she can't hide, they all speak volumes. In Virgin River, these subtle details are never accidental. The show is telling us that this pregnancy, though full of hope, is fragile. Jack's role in all of this is equally telling. He has transformed from a man dealing with his own personal demons into a devoted partner and soon-to-be father, yet even his growth is tinged with anxiety. There are moments where his protective instincts go beyond normal concern. He hovers just a little too much, asks too many questions, and reacts sharply to even minor disruptions in their life. Viewers have learned to read these signs as the show's way of foreshadowing trouble. Jack's fear is not just about losing control, it is about losing the one thing that has finally given him purpose and stability: his past mistakes, personal regrets, and the trauma he has endured make him hyper-aware of potential threats. This layered anxiety sets the stage for a tense narrative where viewers are never entirely at ease. The show also has a pattern of using small visual and narrative cues to hint at larger crises. For example, scenes where Mel is alone, looking out a window, or quietly reflecting after a long day, often suggest inner turmoil, subtle dialogue, like a passing comment about fatigue or a fleeting worry, serves to remind the audience that pregnancy in Virgin River is never just about joy. It is interwoven with tension, uncertainty, and the shadow of previous loss. Season 6 showed this repeatedly, painting a picture where happiness is intertwined with unease. These careful choices by the writers prepare the audience for emotional twists that are both heartbreaking and believable. Another element adding to the tension is the way the show portrays external pressures from the town and community. Virgin River is small, close-knit, and full of characters whose well-meaning actions often complicate things. Friends, colleagues, and family members who intervene with advice, worry, or unsolicited help create additional stress for Mel. Even though these interactions are subtle, they layer on pressure that could potentially affect her health and the baby's well-being. Jack naturally feels this as well. Every conversation, every situation that touches Mel is felt intensely by him, and the audience can sense the strain building as the season progresses. Additionally, the show has a history of dramatic timing. Key moments are often placed right when the audience feels safe. Season 6 ended with an ambiguous note regarding Mel's condition and Jack's reaction. There were smiles, but the pauses, the concerned glances, and the understated dialogue suggested that peace might be temporary. These endings are the hallmark of Virgin River storytelling. The writers excel at creating anticipation and emotional investment, which means that even small signs can be indicative of larger upheaval. Fans naturally wonder if this careful build-up is foreshadowing another crisis for Mel and Jack, and the tension becomes almost tangible as they await answers. Finally, the emotional weight of past trauma continues to inform how both Mel and Jack approach this pregnancy. Their history of pain, combined with the show's subtle hints and narrative style, creates an environment where fear and hope coexist. Mel's past miscarriage, Jack's losses, and the lingering effects of previous challenges shape every choice and reaction. This tension is amplified in Season 6, where every smile carries the potential for heartbreak, and every calm moment is layered with the possibility of disruption. The show is meticulously preparing viewers to feel the fragility of happiness and the ever-present risk of loss. Each frame, each pause, each quiet conversation adds to the sense that this pregnancy, while beautiful, is on a knife's edge, leaving fans anxiously wondering what will happen next. Virgin River has always been a series that thrives on emotional intensity, and Mel and Jack's story is at the heart of that. One of the key ways the show keeps viewers invested is by creating patterns of trauma that test its characters repeatedly. Mel and Jack's journey is not isolated. The series has consistently shown that love and happiness in this town are never straightforward. Looking back at earlier storylines, the show frequently places its main characters in situations where joy is fragile, teaching viewers that every high point carries the seeds of conflict. This pattern is critical to understanding why fans are so nervous about Mel's pregnancy in Season 7. It isn't just about biology, it's about narrative rhythm. The show builds tension by layering challenges, ensuring that moments of happiness are always meaningful but precarious. Mel and Jack's relationship itself is a testament to this storytelling approach. When the two first came together, they each carried significant emotional baggage, Jack had past traumas and lingering grief that affected how he approached intimacy and trust. While Mel had experienced profound loss that made her cautious and fearful, their love story has been punctuated by moments of near-tragedy situations that could have torn them apart but ultimately brought them closer. The recurring theme is resilience in the face of adversity. This history sets the stage for the audience to understand that any upcoming crisis, including potential complications with the baby, would not be random but part of a deliberate narrative pattern that tests their bond and highlights their growth. The series also employs parallel storylines to reinforce the theme of struggle and resilience. For instance, other characters like Charmaine and Hope have faced pregnancy-related challenges, medical emergencies, or family conflicts. These subplots serve as mirrors for Mel and Jack's potential struggles, emphasizing that Virgin River operates within a universe where conflict is inevitable and often necessary for character development. By seeing others endure hardships, viewers are primed to anticipate that Mel and Jack's story may follow a similar path. The show uses this technique to heighten emotional stakes, reminding the audience that no couple's happiness is guaranteed and that each season must earn its moments of relief. Additionally, the writers have consistently explored how external pressures exacerbate personal vulnerability. In Virgin River, small-town dynamics, community expectations, and personal histories intersect in ways that create tension for the main characters. Mel's pregnancy does not exist in isolation. Her responsibilities at the clinic, interactions with friends, and the ever-watchful eyes of the town all influence her emotional state. Jack, too, must navigate the pressures of protecting his family while managing his own fears. This interconnected web of stressors contributes to the narrative tension and reinforces the recurring theme that adversity is inevitable, making any potential loss more impactful and emotionally resonant for viewers. Finally, the storytelling pattern emphasizes that trauma is not just an obstacle, it is a tool for deepening relationships. Every challenge, every near loss, every emotional setback is designed to reveal character depth and strengthen bonds. For Mel and Jack, the potential for loss adds weight to their current happiness, making moments of connection and hope feel more profound. By following this pattern, Virgin River ensures that the audience's emotional investment is matched by the narrative's intensity. In Season 7, the series seems poised to continue this approach, using both subtle hints and dramatic beats to explore the fragility of happiness, the endurance of love, and the resilience required to survive repeated heartbreak. Each trial Mel and Jack may face will not only test them, but also reaffirm the depth of their connection, making every victory and every setback matter in ways that feel both personal and universal. Behind the scenes, the story of Mel and Jack's pregnancy is surrounded by hints and comments from the cast and creators that fans are eagerly dissecting. While the show itself keeps viewers in suspense, interviews and social media posts from Alexandra Breckenridge, who plays Mel, and Martin Henderson, who plays Jack, have offered subtle clues about the direction of Season 7. Breckenridge has spoken about Mel facing unexpected challenges and described this season as more emotionally intense than previous ones. She emphasized the vulnerability of her character and the way the pregnancy storyline tests not just Mel's resilience, but also her relationship with Jack. These statements, while careful not to give away spoilers, suggest that viewers should expect tension, uncertainty, and moments that could pull at the heartstrings. Similarly, Henderson has hinted that Jack's role as a protective partner and father is central to this season, emphasizing the stakes that the characters face in ways that go beyond mere plot mechanics. Fans who follow these interviews carefully are piecing together these subtle messages to anticipate the emotional highs and lows that may lie ahead. Production choices also provide clues about how the pregnancy storyline might unfold. Virgin River has a long history of foreshadowing emotional beats through cinematography, pacing, and framing. Close-up shots linger on characters' expressions during quiet moments, and small gestures like a hand on the belly or a worried glance exchanged are deliberately emphasized. These techniques are often used before key dramatic moments, suggesting that the creative team is preparing viewers for potential complications. Scenes in trailers or promotional images also show Mel and Jack in moments of both tenderness and concern, hinting at the emotional roller coaster that awaits. In the context of the show's narrative style, these visual cues are meaningful. They serve as early warnings that the storyline will explore tension and vulnerability alongside hope and love. The show's history of dramatic timing further reinforces this speculation. Virgin River often places major plot developments at moments when the audience feels most secure, creating maximum emotional impact. Previous seasons have shown that the writers are adept at balancing small, suspenseful moments with larger, life-altering events. For example, past episodes have used minor medical scares, family conflicts, or unexpected arrivals to create turning points that shift the emotional tone dramatically. By examining how the series has handled similar storylines in the past, fans can anticipate that Mel's pregnancy may encounter unexpected hurdles, whether through health concerns, external interference, or emotional strain. The show's consistent use of these narrative techniques builds a sense of inevitability, making it clear that the character's happiness will likely be tested before it can fully flourish. Speculation from fan communities also highlights the significance of subtle hints and behind-the-scenes information. Dedicated viewers analyze everything from interview phrasing to on-set photos, searching for patterns and clues about the pregnancy. Storyline discussions often revolve around questions like whether the baby will be healthy, whether Mel will face medical complications, or whether external pressures such as the town's involvement, Charmaine's interference, or past trauma will create obstacles. These conversations reflect not just curiosity, but deep emotional investment in the characters. A hallmark of Virgin River storytelling, the creators seem to understand this engagement, offering carefully worded insights that heighten anticipation, without revealing definitive answers. Finally, combining the cast's interviews, production techniques, and the show's narrative patterns paints a picture of a storyline designed to be both tense and emotionally compelling. Every element from Breckenridge's comments about unexpected challenges to Henderson's hints about Jack's protective instincts, to the visual storytelling and pacing signals that Season 7 will push Mel and Jack to confront the fragility of hope. The pregnancy, while a symbol of new beginnings, is portrayed as a delicate and potentially vulnerable experience by layering subtle cues, narrative foreshadowing, and behind-the-scenes insights. The creators ensure that viewers remain emotionally invested, anticipating both heartbreak and moments of profound joy. This careful orchestration of tension and expectation makes the season not just a continuation of Mel and Jack's story, but a deeply engaging exploration of love, resilience, and the unpredictable nature of life in Virgin River. As Season 7 unfolds, there are several possible paths for Mel and Jack's pregnancy, each with its own emotional weight and dramatic consequences. The writers of Virgin River have shown that they carefully balance hope and heartbreak, meaning every scenario carries significant stakes. One possible path is another heartbreaking loss. While the show often rewards resilience, it also tests its characters by placing them in situations where they must confront fear and grief. If Mel were to lose the baby, it would be devastating not only for her and Jack, but for the audience, who has invested years in their journey. The emotional fallout would be profound. Mel might retreat inward, wrestling with guilt and sorrow, while Jack's protective instincts could tip into fear and frustration. The series has a history of exploring grief in a deeply personal way, showing how characters process trauma, support each other, and gradually find strength. A loss would provide a poignant, if painful, continuation of that pattern, reinforcing the show's theme that love and resilience are forged through adversity. Another possibility is a pregnancy complication that ultimately leads to a healthy birth. This scenario allows for tension and drama without the permanence of loss, offering the show a way to test the couple while still providing hope. Medical emergencies, near misses, and unexpected obstacles could create suspense across multiple episodes, Mel might experience a scare that forces Jack, the town, and even secondary characters to rally around her. These moments would highlight the depth of their community, the strength of their bond, and the emotional stakes of the pregnancy. The series has frequently used such arcs to develop character relationships under pressure, showing how love and commitment are reinforced when tested. A complication that resolves successfully would also provide a cathartic release for viewers, balancing tension with relief and keeping the emotional journey satisfying. A third scenario could focus on a healthy birth with a twist. Perhaps the baby arrives safely, but circumstances surrounding labor or delivery introduce an unexpected challenge, such as a medical anomaly, family interference, or a new responsibility that tests Jack and Mel's partnership. Virgin River has a history of weaving bittersweet elements into moments of joy, ensuring that happiness is never uncomplicated. In this scenario, the show would explore how the couple navigates the unexpected without undermining the ultimate triumph of bringing a new life into the world. This path allows for a mix of relief, tension, and emotional resonance, reflecting the show's signature style of blending hope with realistic obstacles. The audience gets the reward of seeing the characters succeed while still feeling the